What's even more disturbing and chilling is that this code was deliberately hidden. Hello everyone, this is Era, a journalist specializing in DeepSeek. Ever since the launch of DeepSeek R1, it has garnered immense attention. We are seeing increased regulations and sanctions from the US, and there are even discussions about banning DeepSeek in numerous countries. Although this might be driven by the stance of the US and its allies, a security firm from Canada has discovered concealed code on the DeepSeek website's login page. This code purportedly sends users' login details and other sensitive information to China Mobile, a state-run Chinese telecommunications company, which has sparked considerable controversy. Let's delve into what the cybersecurity firm uncovered and whether it holds true significance. Is this a plot by the US and Western countries, or is it genuinely dangerous? The Wall Street Journal indicates that lawmakers are pushing for measures. What are they proposing exactly? There are currently efforts to push for a ban on the DeepSeek app. Where is this happening? In the United States, the Associated Press also discussed banning this AI's DeepSeek. If you look closely, it mentions that DeepSeek contains computer code. What kind of code does it have? The application could potentially transmit user login information to a Chinese state-owned telecommunications company. This company, which is the Chinese equivalent of SKT in our country, was reportedly given access to this sensitive data. A Canadian cybersecurity firm has made a significant discovery. They found hidden code within the DeepSeek application that captures and transmits user data. This code becomes active when users log into DeepSeek, collecting device information which can be used to identify the user, track their search activities, and gather other personal details. They have discovered a piece of code that allows for the collection of data related to various online activities. Moreover, as I mentioned earlier, this collected information is being transmitted to China Mobile, which is a state-owned telecommunications company controlled by the Chinese government. China Mobile is reportedly sending information to this address, cmpassport.com, but do you know what makes this situation even more suspicious and chilling? It is reported that this code is deliberately concealed. It has been discovered that it gathers information such as the type of device, the operating system in use, and network IP addresses, and transmits this data to cmpassport.com. This method is known as hardcoding. This hidden code was not only concealed but also intentionally made so complicated with variables and definitions that even experienced developers would struggle to recognize it immediately. Are you familiar with Robert Martin? He is well known for his book Clean Code, which emphasizes the importance of organizing variables and commands clearly when writing code. When coding, it's important to follow certain rules and conventions, such as using proper indentation and organizing code hierarchically so that anyone can easily understand it. Adhering to these guidelines is essential for collaborative development, as it enables the creation of clear and modular code. This is why clean code practices are widely appreciated. However, DeepSeek's code is intentionally obfuscated with overly complicated variable and function names. It is believed the code was changed hastily. This made it intentionally hard for external analysts or developers to understand its purpose or processes. Therefore, it seems like a typical login process on the surface. However, in reality, it operates in the background, transmitting user data to an external location, specifically to cmpassport.com. The issue here is that the address cmpassport.com is hard-coded into the application, which is a significant security concern. So, when we say something is hard-coded, it generally means that elements like IDs, names, codes, and icons are treated as fixed variables because users interact with them frequently. Instead of being processed dynamically with each request, DeepSeek R1 was programmed to send data to a specific URL, indicating this was done intentionally. Typically, such details are not hard-coded but encrypted or changeable. Updates and URL changes are common. However, in this case, the information is hard-coded from the login process. This means the value is fixed within the code during login. So, when critical details like server addresses or encryption keys need to be updated, the source code has to be altered and recompiled. This becomes problematic if such sensitive information is hard-coded, as it can be maliciously extracted. While hard-coding a server's URL doesn't always lead to security issues, every time DeepSeek is used, this information is sending this data to China Mobile might require a login, so it could be seen as a fixed process. However, the data being sent is sensitive, and given the ongoing security issues with China, this has become a significant concern. These data transfers can happen without user consent and involve a third party, namely the Chinese state-owned Telecom company. Why is it necessary to send this information through a hard-coded URL? This raises significant concerns, especially considering that China is urgently trying to block it in a manner similar to TikTok. If you visit the DeepSeek homepage, click on Start Now, and then navigate to the privacy policy, you will notice that they have released this model as open source. Developed by developers, so this has been released as an open model, right? When you take this and modify it to function as an open platform, the specific privacy policies that were in place will no longer be applicable. In other words, when you access DeepSeek through their official website, similar to how we connect to ChatGPT, you are required to link to their servers. This typically involves connecting to OpenAI servers, which are primarily managed by Microsoft. Under these circumstances, the relevant privacy policies are enforced, and they collect various types of profile information. In addition to phone numbers, passwords, and email addresses, the application also gathers everything users type, such as chat histories and more technical details. This includes the way we type on the keyboard, the patterns and rhythms of our typing, IP addresses, the system languages we use, the types of smartphones we have, and the operating systems we run. As I pointed out previously, the real concern is about where this personal data is being stored. The data might be stored on a server that is located outside of the country where you reside. But the pressing question is, where exactly is this server located? It is in the People's Republic of China. The Republic of China is Taiwan, and the People's Republic of China is China. So, there was this notification. All of these are actually circumstantial evidence. The code is obfuscated and the normal functions are integrated. This makes it difficult for users to understand. Meanwhile, it sends data to China Mobile, which is concerning. It's concerning, but even after trying to delve deeper into the reports from Feroot, the specific details remain elusive. Typically, you need access to the source data, but they only state, "We've investigated and this is our conclusion." I hope for more updates, so I'm keeping an eye on it. As I mentioned earlier, the data is indeed stored on servers in China. However, as I mentioned before, this is also happening in the United States. Moreover, the US is making efforts to counter China, and DeepSeek has shattered the belief that only wealthy big tech companies can work on AI development. Consequently, there are ongoing discussions at the governmental level regarding AI, which seems to be accelerating this trend. There are some suspicions about the US as well. However, as I've mentioned before, the development of DeepSeek wasn't without significant expenses. I've emphasized multiple times that it wasn't as cheap as it might seem. Furthermore, our H800 reportedly required thousands of units. Do we even have 10,000 H100 units in our country? I don't think so. So, in our country, we could bundle it together. But the hardware infrastructure is not set up. China has likely gained more by lagging behind. With Huawei's Ascend series, they have made inferences. Their hardware is well established. I will cover this topic in more detail separately. This has been Era, signing off.